Good morning. First morning walk we've been on in a few days, partly because of not so fantastic rainy weather and sleep schedule issues. The trees have lost a lot of leaves since the last time we've been out here, and it's only been a few days, so this is a little surprising. But I got some stuff glued up yesterday. No, sorry. I got some stuff prepped to glue up yesterday. Realized I'm out of wood glue. Great place to be. So I think we'll have to get some when Dan wakes up. We go to town for a bit. I'm gonna try and get some more, maybe 2-3 more posts done on the greenhouse. Goals. Our walk, had food, playtime, maybe a little bit too much playtime because we're starting to get grouchy, but hopefully that means we'll take a nap. So we'll get her all set up the way she was yesterday because that seemed to work quite well for her, and hopefully get through another 3 logs. These ones are a little bit more time consuming, mainly because I have to do 2 sides, not just one. But I got 3 of them over there, another 3, 2 of them done tomorrow. It'd be nice if I can get all the logs at least prepped this week. Maybe sunk into the ground next week. So yesterday I told you I would explain how I squared up that other one. So I put basically 2 flat surfaces, created 1 right angle, because I want flat and right angles around the outside perimeter of the building. I don't care if it's kind of rounded log on the inside. I actually kind of think that's going to look a little bit cool. But the first step is planing. Well, first step is debarking, but we did that yesterday because this log has obviously been down probably 1.5 years, so all the bark just kind of peeled right off. Benefits of buying a log that's been there for a while. But I'm going to flatten one side and then show you how I got a kind of a reasonably right angle to my flat side. It's not 100% perfect. This is a slightly rustic greenhouse. One side flat. This, let's see, it's not perfect, but it's actually pretty good. Start down the length of it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is make a cut. Now, nothing I have, unless it's a chainsaw, can actually make it through this entire section. But what I am going to do is make a cut all the way along as deep as I can with one of my circular saws. And the first time I did this, I tried to cut the rest of it with Sawzall and then with a chainsaw. And honestly, that took a really long time. Luckily, I was just kind of cutting off the section of it because one of the boards or one of the logs kind of flared off to the side, so I was just kind of squaring it up a little. I wasn't trying to square it the length of it. So when I tried the next one to square the length of it, I didn't feel like standing there with a Sawzall. I didn't feel like standing there with a chainsaw, so I kind of went a little old school. I got every chisel I had and I wedged it in there and I just kept hitting it, basically just wedging the wood apart. Now I was hitting it with a hammer. Dan came around the corner to figure out what I was doing, and he came back with a sledgehammer and made slightly faster work of it. But anyways, the point is, I'm gonna make that cut first and then grab all my chisels and go to town. So the first thing, as you saw, go through and make a line all the way down the length of it. Ideally, I'm trying to take just enough off. Like, I don't care if I have this little bit of rounded corner. The siding and the glass is going to go up. I kind of close that in anyways, cover it all up. I just want to make sure that I have a flat side on this side, a flat side on that side, and that they're a right angle to each other so that I can attach siding to it. And also so that I don't have to take half the log off. Partly for the sake of me not having to work at this harder than I have to, but also to keep as much strength in the log as I can, because these are going to be the corner posts of holding up the roof and the structure and the whole thing together. So now that this line is drawn and I have a flat surface that I've already planed down, I'm going to use my circular saw, probably about an inch, maybe. Some of these are really wet, so the wetter the log, the harder it is on the blade, the harder it is on the machine, the blade, everything. So I'll probably only do about 3/4 an inch to an inch max first, and then slowly, probably do about 3-4 passes, get it down to the maximum depth I can, and then get the chisel set. So the biggest thing to remember when you're doing that is keep your saw as flat to this surface as you can, and make sure your saw is set to a 90-degree angle, because if the saw blade is 90 degrees to its bed, then it should be creating a 90-degree angle on the board. I try to stay as close to the line as I possibly can, keeping it as straight as I can, but ultimately I am going to go back and clean it up with the plane afterwards, so if I have to kind of square things up a little bit here or there, I can do that. I shouldn't have to square it, I might just need to flatten it, because if the saw blade kind of weaved a little, then it should still be 90 degrees to my original face. It just might be a little wonky. That I can clean up with a straight edge and a plane. Now, the next step involves these. We'll see how well this works. Well, this one's definitely a lot more mangled looking than the first one, but this one had a lot more knots in it than the first one. First one didn't have as many branches, I guess. But that's okay. The next step, I'm going to plane this down, and I'll probably remove the majority of these marks. And again, these are actually the outside faces. They're going to be covered in windows and the siding and other bits and pieces, so you're technically not going to see them. I just wanted something easier to attach to than a round log. I mean, it's a lot flatter than it was. Overall, that's actually not bad. Got it cleaned up a little. Do a little bit of sanding on this side to bring out the nice white of the cedar, and we'll be good to go. Moving on to the next one. Looks a lot cleaner already. So there's still a bunch of this tear out back here. But again, I'm not really worried about that. I'm also not really worried about this because this flat piece side here is the siding going here, here, cover that all up. So you'll never know. I beat this thing to a pulp with some chisels. Not bad. Bit of sanding, and that's basically the process. And like growing there, growing pile of posts over there. Dan helped me get another log up here just before he headed out to. Oh, he's heading off right now. Car sounds a lot better. He's heading off to get a few running around errands done while she and I stay here and get more of this stuff done so that during the day I can work on this and at night I can work on the shop. She's starting to figure out how to make noises. She's very entertained by it. Someone decided she was unbelievably hungry. So it looks like I'm going to get 2 of the corner posts finished today because I was hoping to get the last of this second one done. I basically just need to do the planing, or finish the planing, and do a little bit of sanding on it, and then it'll be done. It can go over with the other ones. But I was hoping to get that done before we decided we were hungry. That didn't happen. There was no way that we were going to let that happen. So, finished up with food. We're going to put her back into her little chair. I'm going to get this finished just so that... Whoop. Ladybugs. Ladybugs are everywhere at the moment. I don't know, sudden warm weather, all the bugs are coming out again. Wish I had mosquitoes come out. Hey, there you are. You're facing this way now. Okay. Yeah, get that finished, put it away. And Dan came back, Dan came back a little while ago with the glue that I need. So we're gonna get into the workshop and get that all glued up. Yeah. Gonna get it gluing. You are adorable, you know that. This is my current arsenal in order to get those logs ready. Chisels, handsaw when the batteries die, circular saw, chainsaw. I haven't really used that since the first one. Planer, draw knife, which apparently doesn't have the guard on it. I should really put the back. Sander, sawzall. Is there an easier way of doing this? Yeah. It's called a bandsaw mill. Amongst other things. But these are the tools I have. I could technically do quite a bit with a chainsaw if I wanted to, but I'm a lot more skilled at using the other tools because of the past renovations that I've done. Chainsaw, not as much. I'm gonna stop talking now? She's been chatting all day. 5 down, 3 to go. When Danny comes back from his bike ride, I'll get him to help me throw another one on there so I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm gonna wheel her out of the shop for a minute or two because I've got a few things that need to run through the table saw, and then she and I are just gonna sit in the workshop and glue things together. Anything bright and colorful. Mainly just anything bright at this point. Alright. Got about 2 minutes to run through the table saw. So these are pieces to glue up for trays. And that little rabbit there, I need to shave off just a little from here. Because it's not, when they glue it up, it's not 100% big enough in order to fit the little lattice piece in. So instead of cutting every single one of the lattice pieces, which I have previously cut on the laser cutter, I'm just going to adjust these. Okay, so I'm done doing what I need to that's going to make noise and sawdust. But I have a dilemma now. Apparently, the great outdoors is a great place to take a nap. I don't want to move her because it's going to jostle her quite a bit to come back in here, so it's definitely going to wake her up. I guess I'll just have to keep an eye through the door. Well, one way or another, that's basically it for me today. I'm going to continue gluing up tray toppers and hexagons, and I might cut up more hexagons, start putting them in the back wall, start getting that restocked. So I'll be able to get through the gluing of this pretty quickly. So if I can go through this pile once Dan comes back and takes her for the evening, yeah, I should be able to pull that off. Anyways, that's it. See you guys later. Last one. The pile over there is gone. The pile over there is growing. Just need to get this sanded and then clean up the bit of a mess I made. Have I said yet how incredibly happy I am about not doing this in the workshop? That's a lot of mess. This would have been so much easier with a bandsaw mill. But I don't really need one on a regular basis, so this is what we're going with. It's a lot of sawdust. A lot of sawdust.